And what Hope and Glory have managed to do is come in, make it affordable, but totally customizable.
Yeah.
And I have to say, when we started taking these out of the bag, I'm like, holy shit, some of this stuff is great.
Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
so, Rob,
Yes,
here we are
Craig.
today. We've got a great one today. So we are going to talk through a brand called Hope and Glory.
So we did an interview with a guy called Josh Chapman, who is the kitsman in the kit community. You can watch that interview here. When he brought in his collection, he also had a Hope and Glory shirt in there, which we really liked. He asked me if I was familiar with the brand. I said I thought it might be some sort of chav brand that had maybe ventured into football. Turns out that wasn't the case, as I was told by the founder, Rick, who showed up at my house with a bag full of football kits and threatened me that if we didn't put it on the channel, then he would come back in 6 weeks' time with all his mates and set fire to my wheelie bins.
Tooled up.
Yeah, so as he's from the north part of Manchester, I did have to take that threat seriously. So here we are with an assortment of Rick's work. So Rick's journey into the industry was quite interesting and almost not accidental, but he certainly kind of found his own way into it. He was working as a graphic designer for an agency that was based at Boundary Park, the home of Oldham Athletic, and he's a big Oldham fan. He wasn't too impressed with the kits that Sondico were providing to Oldham at the time, so he went and spoke to the club chairman, asked if he could have a bash at designing the kits. He said if it's all right with Sondico. Spoke to Sondico, they let him have a go. The rest was history. The kits were great, and he decided to set up his own brand.
So we've worked for some of the big sports brands, as you probably well know if you have been watching us over the last few years. Nike, Puma, Adidas, all that sort of stuff. What tends to happen is, for us to supply grassroots football, you know, Sunday league teams, all that sort of stuff, what tends to happen is they'll take the big teams, your Barcelonas, your Man Uniteds, your Newcastle United, obviously, and then they'll take those teams down, they'll simplify them down, they'll simplify the fabrics and the details and everything on those, and they'll take them down so that the grassroots teams can, one, afford them, and two, customise them. The challenge that they have, though, is not all the colours that are needed for that particular team are represented. And most definitely, if there's a team that's got a certain historical reference point, just like a Man United might, or you know, an Aston Villa, or whoever it is, there'll be certain things that are really pivotal for the design of that kit. Well, these teams are absolutely no different, Rob, as you well know. If you're talking about Chorley, or if you're talking about the Isle of Man, you know, there's history behind those Sunday league teams, just like any other team. And what Hope and Glory have managed to do is come in, make it affordable, but totally customisable. And I have to say, when we started taking these out of the bag, I'm like, holy shit, some of this stuff is great.
Yeah,
I mean,
totally. I think that, just to quickly chip in there, I think what's interesting and helps set Hope and Glory apart is those of you that have played for Sunday league teams or grassroots teams, you may have found brands where you can go up onto their website, you can do some customisation, design your own graphic, whereas Hope and Glory are one of a very small number of brands where they will take care of the full design process for you. So it's been designed by a professional rather than your mate down the pub. So something really, really interesting and exciting about the way this is put together.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you say that, if I just take this Isle of Man top, for example, first of all, you know, the graphic on it is absolutely awesome, dead bright, great looking. You know, if you turned up your Sunday league game and that, you're going to be definitely
chased out of town.
No, don't start again. Rick will be around at your house again.
He will. I can't help it. It's poking the cobra.
So really nice sublimation prints on the arms. If I was being hypercritical, you know, I don't like to see little size tags in the back, just because it irritates players. Equally, you know, we could tidy the hemline up there a little bit, but look, I mean, at the end of the day, what is great is they've got the fact that the fabric is made out of recycled plastic bottles, so there's an environmental tick there. You know, there's little coordinates on the back, which I would imagine obviously is for the Isle of Man. It talks even to the point where FC Isle of Man proudly, you know, support the beach buddies, which I guess will be people, you know, helping out and trying to take plastic out of the oceans and all that sort of stuff. But what a great looking kit for a Sunday league, and it
is
just
great.
keeps going on.
Well, I tell you what would be awesome, because we've got quite a few good looking kits here, is if we could give some away at the end and maybe even have another little bit of a competition to go with it as well. What do you
Yeah,
think?
well, I think we can definitely give 5 away. So at the end, we'll give 5 kits away
Yeah.
to 5 lucky winners. But what do they have to do to get that?
Well, you're going to have to stay tuned to the end and we'll tell you.
All right, okay. So next up, though, I would like to get out this little number, which
It's
I
like the
think,
Leeds United Admiral shirt from days gone by.
yeah, and again, it's
And
just,
ironically, it's better than the current Leeds shirt.
yeah, most definitely. I mean, aesthetically, it looks great.
Yeah.
You know, it's a great looking kit. Again, embroidered badges.
Basingstoke Town.
Again, it's all sublimation print, but as a lower league team, cracking, and it goes on and on and on. Nice little V-neck there. But what's nice about that, they've even got their sponsors logo on front and back, where they've got the gorilla tape on the back. Again, great Chorley crest on the front there, and they've got, home, away
Not a
options
big fan
as
of
well.
that honking great big label in the back there, though, mate.
Yeah, I
think
mean, these are the little details that, we're not going to kill them for,
it's
because
hard for smaller brands to meet the minimum quantities on heat transfers. and
exactly,
things, so-
but for me, it's a heat transfer all day long.
Yep.
I'd get rid of that. And the next shirt, which is an absolute stormer of a shirt, it's all tone on tone, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
But again, I'd be personally taking them out. But it's got a bit of a flavour of like a modern version of the classic England Admiral kit, if you see the stripes across the chest
it
and
is
stuff.
the Berry shirt, and we have, or Bury, as you would call it if you were local. This is the home kit, which is even more reminiscent of that classic shirt. I mean, Berry's a whole other conversation anyway as to what was allowed to happen to them as a football club. But it's great to see that there are brands out there that can work with clubs like this and just help them maintain that prestige, because to the community of this part of Greater Manchester, this is a really, really important football club. And so
absolutely.
why should they be treated any different than somebody else just because of what division they're in?
And honestly, the away kit, I'd wear that all day long. I mean, that's just a great looking.
Yeah, it's lovely.
I mean, so good. Fair play to you guys. That's absolutely superb. And it goes on. We've got like a little bit of a Croatia kind of flavour going on here, where we've got
a team from, and if you know who that is, just let us know in the comments. I was going to say you could win the shirt. In fact, you can tell us who it is in the comments. You can have the shirt. They play in the Falklands Football League, which surprised me when I took it out of the bag, that I didn't think there would be enough of a population in the Falklands to actually have a football league, but there is. And so this is one of the teams from the Falklands Football League. If you can tell us who that team is in the comments, you could be the lucky winner of this shirt.
Yep. And again, it just keeps going on and on. Like, as far as little details are concerned, they've got a nice little kind of eco detail there where they've pulled that out. They've got the little side tab on the back. And again, I know this might not mean too much to the team itself, but as a brand, I think they're trying really hard to make a really great, interesting looking brand with lots of detail on, great looking kits, which I would proudly wear as a supporter of those teams.
Totally. I mean, this one makes me think of awesome Crystal Palace away kits from the past. With the sash across it, player issue, so it's got the number 10 on the back. And this is Malvern Town, so we're not talking pub teams here. These are teams that are playing at a respectable level within grassroots football. It's got that number 10 on the back, as worn by Lionel Messi, although to my knowledge he's never played for Malvern Town, or at least not yet. Another really nice one. It's well put together. We've got a women's shirt as well, so it's not just for the guys. This is Mancunian Unity Women's FC, and we've got another shirt on the table somewhere or hanging up, which is done in a women's cut. So Hope and Glory aren't just approaching this as a shrink it and pink it, as it used to be called in the industry for women's football, where to take the guys one and do it in a few smaller sizes. These are specifically designed for female athletes, which is just awesome as well to know that the women's game is being catered for at that sort of level. We've got another Chorley one here, which again really nicely done I think we've looked at it, the buttonhole's not amazing, but again, it's just a little thing that, you know, will separate it out from the Nikes and the Adidases of the world. But again, they're simple things to fix, really. A brand that's still relatively new into its journey.
If you just simply take, you know, you've heard us talk about the matching of colours on, you know, some of the top brands. If you look at that, I mean, again, they've done such a nice job of kind of matching all those colours in. I mean, you could slightly forgive them that it's a little bit out, but generally speaking, that's not bad at all, man.
Yeah, the fabric's pretty nice. I mean, it comes to something when, you know, the things that we're talking about is buttonholes and stuff like that, because these
maybe the button's rock hard as well.
Easy.
Fair, yeah.
So
you know,
but you know,
like
they're you do. I mean, they're relatively small things in the grand scheme of things, and pretty easy to fix.
Personally, I think they're doing an absolutely tremendous job, and I'm so glad there's brands out there like Hope and Glory that are catering for this part of the world, because they've definitely found a niche that a lot of the big brands are basically neglecting.
Competition time. So to be in with a chance of winning some of these Hope and Glory shirts, to win this one from the Falklands League, like, subscribe and tell us the name of the team in the comments. And then in a somewhat separate competition, we've got 4 other shirts to give away. Again, like and subscribe to the kit breakdown, and just leave us the name in the comments of which kit you would like to be in with a chance of winning, and then we will pick 4 people. If you're the only one to pick a particular shirt, you're guaranteed to win it. So we've got Mancunian Unity here, we've got Malvern Town. There's a couple of Malvern Town ones you can mention.
Isle of Man,
Chorley, FC,
Bury.
We've also got the Black Bury kit.
You've got to try and get in to win this one. This is an absolute
I'm expecting
corker.
That one's going to be quite well subscribed.
Well, nice.
We have this one as well, which I'm not entirely sure what it is. Could be Hope and Glory FC by the looks of it, as it's HGFC.
Well,
and that looks like it might be Hope and Glory in Latin.
Well, if you like that one, you can win that one as well.
The Latin one.
And last but not least, we have got Basingstoke, which is player edition again.
Awesome. So, and also, if you're a Leeds fan, you might want to just buy a Leeds badge and stick it over the top of that, because it's far better than what you've got. Number 5, Lucas Radaby.
Yeah,
Perfect.
And there's a few more behind us, as you can see, but if you cannot see them, that's your lot.
Well, thanks for joining us today. We hope that you've enjoyed the video. Hope you've enjoyed seeing something very different to perhaps what we regularly talk about. Like, subscribe, leave us a comment. Do you wish that Hope and Glory were working with your professional team? Maybe there's certainly plenty on here that's more visually impactful than a lot of the stuff we see in the top divisions around the world. Until next time, you take care, and we'll look forward to seeing you with the next video.
Cool. Now comes in Hope and Glory, where they are basically taking that world by storm, and it sounds like he's actually trying to call me live on camera here. Here he is. Here is Rick Dennis. Here we go. Hi Rick, how you doing? You all right? Yeah, not bad. You're actually live on camera as we stand right now. We're sat here with all of the kits in front of us.
On speaker.
So yeah. So what do you think? Do you think we can do those competitions? Fantastic. Right, well, I'll call you a little bit later, Rick, when we're not live on camera. All right, cheers, mate. Thanks for calling. Cheers, bye. So there you have it.
That looked like the most pathetically staged thing ever, and it was real.
It was absolutely real. Absolutely real.
Yeah.